Can you start, everybody? All right.
Recording in progress.
Can you go ahead? So again, for 40 marks, bacho, you have GST, no doubt about it. Income tax seems huge. For 60 marks, no doubt again. But yes, students prefer and focus a lot on GST so that they'll get good marks. But in recent examinations, like which one? November 22, even GST was bacho out of little bit different. Okay. So before we proceed, what you should always obviously be aware of is the weightage of chapters. I'll be taking from study material only, okay? ICS study material. So please keep it with you. So this is, we have already covered income tax, hai na? Right? And here, bacho, come back here. You have your study material, everybody? Yes? Correct, na? So check here, bacho. Indirect taxes, 40 marks. If at all I talk about here, this part. Check here. Concept and of indirect taxes, concepts and features. GST is law, that is your introduction. These two parts, I mean, in your, that is your chapter number 1 actually, is 0 to 5%. It can be asked or may not be asked, but 5% of 40 marks. Yes, everybody? Clear? You can keep your index page in front of you. You want me to show that also now? Tax, we had opened somewhere, no? This part from study material. Okay. So again, this first chapter is going to have again 0 to 5%. So again, 0 to what? Just 2 marks out of 40 marks. So we have basics, supply under GST, charge, exemptions, time and time of supply and value of supply. This is again your volume 1. Okay. Again, you have volume 2. I hope you have. Then what? Your input tax credit, ITC, registration, tax invoice, debit notes, credit notes. I mean your invoices, payment of taxes, and lastly you should have returns. Hai na? Yes, Shilya. So accordingly, keep both the volumes in front of you and you can give the weightage here. Check the weightage. So chapter 1, this one done. Registration, check. It might be there obviously in your second volume. In your second volume, hai na? Registration under GST, tax invoice, returns, and payment of taxes. 25 to 40, minimum 25%. Okay, so what? 10 marks, na? Yes, still all of you? 10 to 16 marks. Obviously, everything includes your MCQs also. Hai na? Understood? So, ration, tax invoice, returns, and payment of tax. That is again in your part 2, 25 to 40%. And minimum half, 20 marks. Minimum 20 marks. Check here. Levy, time value, time of supply and value of supply, ITC, and computation. This is going to be your minimum 50 to 80%. Minimum 50%, maximum 80%. Right, everybody? So, charge, you can take chapter, charge of GST. Time of supply, value of supply is in your volume number 1. ITC is in volume number 2. And GST liabilities, that is okay. That is computation, though, as it is again mix of the entire syllabus, if you remember. Means what I'm trying to tell you. In income tax, you had what? Which chapter? Last chapter you had income tax. Computation of total income, isn't it? Hai na? Similarly, bacho, you are going to have your computation of GST liability. That is your entire syllabus. Hai na? Take into consideration everything. Clear, all of you? Can I go ahead, everybody? Means what I'm trying to tell you. Chalo. Hello, Divya. Finally, you are there. Yes. Hello, Indrajit. Good, good, good. All right. Let's go ahead. So I hope this is also done. Can we go ahead, everybody? I will not be taking obviously in the same sequence given in the study material. I'll be taking in some other sequence, but obviously we have to cover everything. So chalo, let's start with your first chapter. Ready, steady, tell me. Oh, bachcho. Ready, no? And chalo, let's start. Again, first priority what? ICS statement always, always, and always. No doubt about it. Okay. Can you start, everybody? Chalo. A small notebook may be required of 100 pages also sufficient if at all you want to write anything or make some examples, or make some tables which we might do in the class. Okay. Chalo. The first part, let's have a very small discussion about types of taxes which we had done in the very basics of income tax. Pay attention, okay? Be careful. I mean, pay attention. Don't write down anything. But we had done something about direct taxes and indirect taxes. Remember something? Direct taxes and indirect taxes. Isn't it, everybody? Okay, tell me. Hai na? What was the difference if you remember? Which one was a progressive tax? You will be like, sir, no, I don't remember now. This was a progressive tax. So this was called as regressive tax. Regressive means in a way backward. But both are necessary, that we will discuss later on. On Google also or anywhere online also you can get information how much direct taxes was collected for the year and how much GST and as well as other indirect taxes were collected for the year. You will understand both are almost in same proportion. Okay. In fact, indirect taxes can go more than that. The reason is simple. Direct taxes is progressive because higher the income, higher the tax. So a person whose income is below, okay, basic exemption limit. है कि नहीं बच्चों? Below basic exemption limit. Direct tax is done, that is the assumption here, okay? Income tax is covered. So bachcho, will he pay direct taxes? No. So if a person is earning up to 5 lakhs including rebate, are you getting my point? Is he paying bachcho any taxes? None at all. Isn't it, everybody? But here it is irrespective of your income. The tax is levied irrespective of the income. But in fact, indirect taxes focuses on, tell me, expenditure. Are haan ya na? If you're doing the expenditure, tax is levied. Clear, everybody? So if a person who is earning 5 lakhs, but in a way, let us say, even after savings, he is going to spend other of his entire income. So let us say, even just for the sake of example, out of 5 lakhs, he spends 4 lakhs. On that 4 lakhs, it is quite possible he is paying indirect taxes also. Or it may also happen that he may spend rupees 4 lakhs, okay? And he may not even realize that he is spending or he is giving or he is contributing indirect taxes also. Okay? How? That means by spending 4 lakhs, he might be getting the benefit or value of rupees 3.5 lakhs and remaining bachcho 50,000 he is paying as taxes, which is also happening with you on day-to-day basis. Yes? Whenever you spend on petrol, yourself, let us say out of your pocket money or from a family, then mobile recharge, isn't it? Are haan? Correct? You bought a laptop, then you go for a movie, correct? Then the main important expenditure I did not discuss, restaurant. Yes or no, bachcho? Correct? These may be your day-to-day or regular expenses or even stationery or books, let us say. But I'm just again giving you example, correct? Your sketch pen, stationery, even that may be covered. Then clothing, obviously. That is shopping, let us say, that is in your case cosmetics, right? Yeah. So again, these are your regular or expenditures, है ना? Chocolates, all of that. That is already included in your food items. So on all of these, even if you spend a total rupees 4 lakhs, maybe I'm just again giving you for the sake of example, the value which you have got is 3.5 lakhs and 50,000 what you have contributed towards the tax. Understood or not, really, everybody? As of today, also, you might be aware, maybe petrol, okay, even if it is going on rupees 110 per liter, depending from cities to cities, okay, just for the sake of example, the cost bacho without taxes is almost rupees 55 per liter. हाँ या ना, maybe you or maybe aware, not aware, so obviously we'll discuss that also, है ना, and rupees 55 is going towards the taxes. Hello Kritik, how are you? Which batch? Just tell me, Kritik, that. So person bachcho who is earning 5 lakhs, he's spending on petrol, so obviously he's contributing towards taxes also, or no? Yes, correct. I'm not even discussing about other taxes, like let us say when you purchase an immovable property, you have to pay registration fees to the government, you have to pay stamp duty to the government, that is different, okay, but even those taxes are there, and toll which you pay on the highways. So there are obviously much other ways of paying off taxes also on the expenditure part. Clear or no, everybody? Yes. One of the classic examples I used to give you when differentiating between direct and indirect taxes, why this is progressive and this is regressive. So earning 5 lakhs, spending on petrol, so obviously contributing towards taxes also. Okay. What was I discussing? So this guy, what example Bacho has to give you? Higher the income, higher the tax. Lower the income, lower the tax. In Bacho, income tax or direct taxes. Clear till here? Indirect tax is regressive because it is irrespective of income. It is Bacho irrespective of income. So if I give about example of diesel Bacho used in truck, correct? And diesel Bacho used in BMW, correct till here? You are levying means the rules or the laws right now are levying the same rate of tax on the item, even if the purpose for which it is used is bachcho completely different. May batch, May batch foundation, na? Kritik, the current, the one LR batch, Kritik. Okay, how are you? What's going on? Okay, because here the purpose used bachcho obviously luxury, and here it is a necessity, or truck, or if I use the system of transport, they are the backbone of the economy. Correct, here? But both of them are levied at the same rate of tax. Understood? That's what we call, bachcho, in this case, indirect taxes as regressive or backward in nature. Clear, everybody? Yes? What else? Direct tax. The word itself, bachcho, direct is bachcho, directly collected from the payer. Directly collected, bachcho, from the payer. And we call them as assessee. Remember that? See, it is mainly his duty. It is bachcho mainly his duty to pay the taxes. Even if, understand now, you may say, but sir, there is a concept of TDS. In TDS, somebody else collects the taxes and then he pays to the government. Agreed. But if the deductor fails, still it is his primary duty, bachcho, to pay the taxes. So it is his duty to pay the taxes, either through advance tax or self-assessment or whatever it might be. Clear? Here, bachcho, compulsorily in every transaction where in indirect taxes, there are 3 people involved. Okay, Kritik, yeah. There is a seller, there is a buyer, and obviously there is bachcho government of India. Hi, Anna. Correct? Seller bachcho charges, again I'm just giving you a simple example, 100 rupees for his goods or services, right? But he doesn't recover or take 100 rupees from the buyer. He takes 118, or let us say plus 18. Then bachcho, should I compare that like TCS? Does that make sense? Tell me. Hi, Anna. Understood, everybody? It is like TCS. Remember TCS or no? But in case of that car dealer, showroom dealer, they are charging 1% TCS. So they are taking extra on the selling price. Same thing. So whatever was the price before taxes, on that you can say recovering extra. This will be bachcho in an example like TCS. But here seller bachcho recovers 18 rupees extra as tax. Correct? And it takes 118. Same example. This 18 rupees बच्चों is income of seller? No. He is an agent of the government and बच्चों seller obviously deposits to the government. Clear or no all of you? Simple till here? बोलो. Okay till here everybody? On whose behalf? Buyer's behalf. Does the buyer get the credit or no? Yes, bacho, he gets the credit. Clear till here everybody? So in every such transaction on supply, we are going to use the word bacho supply. That is our next chapter that we will do that. So every such transaction of supply, the supplier will levy the taxes. We have to discuss lots of concepts, but that we will do in some time. Yes, still everybody. But here every time there are three people involved: supplier, recipient, and the government. Supplier is bacho collecting taxes on behalf of the government in every transaction, or in every transaction there are three people involved. In income tax, it may or may not be the case like that. Clear everybody? Understood? So the burden, but what we call burden of payment. Okay. The burden of payment is on the taxpayer himself. You know, the one who's actually paying the or bearing the tax. But here the burden to pay to the government is not of the payer of tax. It is bacho on the supplier. Are you getting my point, everybody? Okay. Chalega? Shall we go ahead? Then let us then discuss some types of direct tax, bacho, which one we had: income tax, wealth tax, inheritance tax. But wealth tax and inheritance tax is not applicable in India. Okay, wealth tax is abolished right now in India. Indirect taxes, what we used to have, that also we will discuss. Okay, customs. Okay, then service tax, VAT, है ना? And बच्चों merger of all of these three right now I'm just discussing on a very basic level is GST, goods and service tax. Obviously the question arises, what was the need of introducing GST? है ना? That comes to your mind because GST has been introduced in many countries decades back. Even in India, it was there was a discussion in 1998 or 99 something, and after that it took almost 15-20 years, 15-16 years to have a stable government, and you can see a majority government in India so that we could incorporate it or start it. Because it is a nationwide tax. It is a uniform tax throughout the country. So all of them should agree and implement it. So that takes a time if there is no single ruling party throughout the country. Yes, correct, Nitin. It was, yes, one tax, one nation concept. Correct. And we were thinking there will be only one rate of tax. But again, there is lots of headache with that also. Anyways, you talk to any practicing CA or any person, tax consultant, how are GST returns going on? You'll get a good answer. Anyways, so let us discuss why we had to merge these. Okay. So customs is a duty. It is again a charge on production. Okay, that is, let us say, manufacturing. It is again a very old law or old act as such, because when you are manufacturing or producing, you are using resources of the country. So on production, you have to pay some tax because you're using the resources. Even if you buy them, but still you're using the resources of the country. That's why you have to pay the duty on the resources. Correct, Ilya? Then once you have produced it, you will also sell it. Correct, Ilya? So VAT was earlier also called as sales tax. So in your study material also, if you'll see some old examples in company law or contract act, you might see this word sales tax officer or sales tax, because before VAT it was called as sales tax only. So bacho, it was levied on sale. Sales tax or VAT bacho was levied on sales. Use common sense. Obviously, if you produce, you will sell it also. No? What will you do just after producing it? So producing it and selling it. So on sale, VAT was applicable. Clear all of you? Yes. And service tax, I think around 94, Manmohan Singh, when he was the prime finance minister, that time bacho, 94, yeah, he had introduced this concept of service tax. The tax will be levied also on service. Just like you are selling goods, you're also bacho selling services. So on service bacho, it was also applicable service tax on sale of service. And here bacho the fight starts. Okay. on sale of goods. And VAT was service tax was obviously on sale of service. Now comes into picture Constitution of India. We had done income tax chapter 1 basics, or but to discuss that income tax is collected by central government or state government, it goes to central government. Why? Because of constitution. है ना? Entry number what? And schedule number what? That we had discussed. Remember, na? Understood? So when constitution was obviously created, or formed, that time the power duty between the central government and the state government, and if you remember list 1, list 2, list 3, do you remember that? List 1, list 2, list 3. List 1 is what? Whose exclusive power? Central government. List 2 is whose exclusive power? State government. List 3 is also called as concurrent list. Both have the power. Correct earlier? Remember that. So income tax was under which list? 1, 2 or 3? Yes. Your income tax was under list number 1. Na beta. Income tax was under list number 1. Income tax means what? Who collects the income tax? To whom the income tax is deposited with? Only central government. Arey haan. Only don't you do this. This is a very basic thing. Income tax is collected by, or it is, you can say, entire responsibilities of central government. Clear? It is a central act, bachcho. Okay. Similarly, bachcho, custom duty. Okay, everybody. I'm using the word bachcho. Custom duty, it is excise duty. Sorry. Custom is on import, but same. Custom was also bachcho, your central government only. Excise duty. Sorry. Okay, excise duty is also levied by your central government. Clear to all of you? Check. Pay attention. These two now. Central government. Service tax bachcho also central government. Okay, are you getting my point? Means it was under which list? List 1. Clear? So central government collects this money, and central government is free, or in a way they have the authority that they can decide where all they want to spend, because the money was going to directly to central government. But we also bachcho give power to the state government, no doubt about it, because it is union of the states and union territories also to make the country. Correct? So even the state governments were given power, and bachcho, they were given this authority to collect VAT. Who bachcho? Who? State government. So similarly, if you are Maharashtra, in Maharashtra VAT, Delhi D VAT, Gujarat G VAT, Kerala K VAT. Okay, everybody. So every state had the power to decide the rate of sales tax, that is VAT, on every item of goods. In the very beginning, it was around 10%, then 12%, then 13%, and so and so. VAT. Are you getting my point, everybody? So if at all, I talk about a very simple example of laptop. Chalega? I could have used the word plant and machinery, but same thing. Okay? Now, again, for the sake of example, I'm saying. Okay? Now, let us say, bachcho, excise duty was separately 12%. Yes? On manufacturing, you manufacture the laptop, 12% you have to pay. Who? The producer, manufacturer. Correct? Then he will give to the wholesaler. The wholesaler will give to the retailer, and retailer will sell it, whatever. But ultimately, we will recover from the customer. Again, for the sake of example, I'm saying VAT, bachcho, let us say, was 13%. And again, it is to differ from state to state. Karnataka may have 13%, Maharashtra may have 14%. Possible. Bihar may have bachcho 10%. Possible. So that's why I'm just giving you again a random, right now, a rate for 13%. So if I look at this scheme right now, after production, before taxes, as such, bachcho, we are paying 25% tax. Haan ya na? Are you getting my point, everybody? Or even if I take on a lower side, excise was 10%, and VAT is bachcho on a very lower side 10%, but still I'm paying bachcho almost minimum 20%. Okay till here, everybody? Clear? Instead of that, then GST bachcho in that case will merge both of them, and then we have separate rates of taxes. And generally right now, even if you buy today also laptop, the one fixed rate on GST bachcho right now is 18%. Are you getting my point or no? Is this beneficial right now? What do you think? It is beneficial to whom? Tell me this. It is beneficial, but to whom? You can just compare 20-25% with 18%. It is beneficial, but beneficial to whom? Correct, Nathan. Absolutely correct. Yes. It is much beneficial to customer. Correct. Third party, I mean, sorry, the last party in the chain. Correct. Now here, if the prices are controlled, I mean, the ultimate, because tax is levied on that price, na? So if my final price is little bit lower, है ना? In a way, बच्चों, I am controlling inflation. In a way, बच्चों, I am controlling the inflation. हाँ है ना? If a thing I can sell at 110 rupees and the same thing, बच्चों, I can sell at 100 rupees. Yes, Celia? In that case, बच्चों, obviously I'm reducing the price. That is what I'm controlling the inflation. Another disadvantage of indirect taxes I did not discuss here, but if the rates of taxes increase, it directly बच्चों hits the inflation. Simple example, same thing, diesel बच्चों. Even if the rate is increased by 1 rupee, what happens? Transport charges बच्चों increases. It should increase. I mean, ideally it will increase. Transport charges increases. Your बच्चों selling price increases. Will increase. Simple. Yes or no? Daily बच्चों you buy milk, bread, whatever you buy. So that milk बच्चों travels maybe 20-40 kilometers in your city, wherever you are sitting. हाँ या ना? Through that chilling trucks and all. Isn't it, everybody? So every time बच्चों the transport right from that main hub, wholesalers hub, in a small rickshaw, that transport rickshaw you have, it comes to the retailer's shop. They're all chilled in a way, or that involves transport. So even if but 1 rupee the diesel prices go up, it hits the profit margin of the seller. Ultimately, what will happen? They will have to increase the prices also. So indirect taxes but directly contributes to inflation. So okay, are you getting my point? If the rates are increased. Understood? Clearly? So in a way, now pay attention. In a way, it is what? Beneficial to the consumer, that a lower rate of tax is getting applicable. And again, in a way, bachcho, it is disadvantageous to the government, because obviously they are collecting lower rate of tax. But again, it should be a win-win. So there are also certain other cases possible. But on some items there was no VAT at all, or VAT was just 5%. I'm just giving you again example. Hi, na? So here it was, let us say, originally 10% excess duty, and VAT bachcho was nil, or let us say 5%. So effectively it was coming to 15%. But again, it is getting now charged but at 18%. So there are both the cases. Are you getting my point, everybody? Yes or no? Correct? So it's better that we have one single rate. Okay. Now, another thing. A big headache. I'll tell you that also. We have to discuss many things. So I'll be, before even I open the textbook, you will understand. You will have lots of idea before even we proceed. Okay. Hello, Ayu. How are you? In income tax, bachcho, did we talk something about GST? Did you discuss about income tax return? In income tax, we discussed that. Yes, 113 and 145 and all of that. 113 and 8A also right now. Correct or no? Yes, Ayu. Ayush, Kolkata. Okay, huh. Yes, everybody. We discussed income tax return in income tax return. Excise return. Service tax return. VAT return. You had this, bachcho. From tax consultant, from CS point of view, good. So many compliances. But also headache. Headache for the consultant also. Headache for the businessman also. Consultant is, so let us say, whatever he's going to earn income by filing returns. But filing of returns is not something great what we are doing out of the world. That's okay. After all, it is just a compliance. But dealing with 3 different departments. Excise and service tax were under central government only. That one building is there. But officers bachcho obviously are different, because the act itself were different. This is a separate act. Service tax bachcho separate act. VAT to bachcho depending on your state. Now you tell me bachcho, a multinational company or a national level company, they will have branches maybe or units in different areas of the country. And then every state wise they have to deal with that particular VAT department separately. Correct? You might have gone to RTO for your driver's license. Maybe. Correct? Might have visited. or maybe you have gone to your local corporation, maybe if at all you had the opportunity of going there, not opportunity but bad luck of going there in your local department, corporation or municipality or RTO, and maybe you might have gone to a passport office also. Now, passport bachcho cannot be issued by state government. It is under the authority of central government. Correct, Ilya? But RTO, driver's license, bachcho, is given by state government. Agreed or no? Did you, if at all you have gone to both of these departments, okay? Have you realized or observed any big difference between both these departments? If not, let me tell you, there is. Okay? Honestly, bachcho, the ones departments handled by central government are a little bit better from infrastructure point of view, from cleanliness point of view, from management point of view, everything. And state governments or corporation, bachcho, comparatively again, not so better. VAT, I had a very horrible experience during my practice days also. Impossible to make them understand the law, impossible to deal with them. They are not sitting at their place also, they are not visible, they are not available, and anything can happen. All difficult things. And there was decentralization. Means what? Excess department is doing its own work. It has nothing to do with service tax, whatever is happening with the same client. Let us say if I write on the company name here, ABC Limited. You know? This is one business person only. And he's dealing with three people over here. But excise has nothing to do with service tax, service has nothing to do with VAT, and vice versa. All three of them are harassing, or all three of them are dealing with their own work and act and law and trying to recover their own money. Correct? Is there coordination between these three? Absolutely not. Are you getting my point? And bachcho, the businessman or the assessee, I mean, I'm using the word assessee, but business person here has to deal with all three departments differently. Let us say at times hire three different consultants for expertise in their own field, file returns, assessment, notices, all of that. Headache. Understood, everybody? Yes? So all these things are in a way headache. So if it only merge those things together in one single act, that becomes easier to deal with. Again, comparatively. Clear to all of you? Yes. And again, the fighting. Now what happens in GST, obviously I have not yet gone again into anything, just telling you the basics. In GST, bachcho, here the separation between the central government and state government happens automatically. Okay? When you go to a restaurant and you get your food bill, you might have noticed something like, let us say 9% separate and 9% separate. So that at that invoice itself, at that collection moment itself, what is happening? We are collecting for the central government also, as well as for the state government also. Are you getting my point, everybody? Hi, Anna. Now, whether that used to happen in this VAT case? No. When I had bought my mobile during my college days, that time VAT was levied. So that VAT went to whom? It went to the state government. When that mobile shopkeeper, when he purchased from the manufacturer levied VAT as well as excise. Because the manufacturer manufactured the mobile, so excise. He sold to the shopkeeper, therefore VAT. Excise went to the central government, VAT went to the state government. Hi, Anna. Clear till here? So on this entire chain, two different taxes bachcho levied. Clear till here? But your last chain, bachcho, only VAT was levied. So again, lots of headache happening in this entire scheme of transactions. Understood, everyone till here? Yes? But in the single bill and in the single transaction over here, if both of them are separated, segregated, that is very, very easy. So this restaurant owner will accordingly bachcho pay CGST. I mean, we are going to do that only. GST. The central government's bachcho GST will pay to CGST. I mean, to the central government. And state government bachcho tax, state government's GST bachcho will pay to the state government, but in the same transaction itself. Clear to everybody? Let's go ahead. Another thing which we have to discuss, ITC and all that, we will do that. Let's go ahead, everybody, then. Chalo. All right. Some things I'll give for you only to read, okay? Because many things now I have discussed here. So reading part, line by line or paragraph by paragraph, you will have to do it as homework. Okay, everybody? Now, what is the tax and all? After doing income tax, now to understand what is the tax, that will be a waste of time. Okay, but please read. Okay, sure. Yeah, whatever important, I'll do that. It is also called as consumption tax. Which one? Indirect tax, because it is based on expenditure, na consumption, and the more you spend, the more taxes are collected. Okay, and it is regressive, that is backward in nature, because it is not based on principle of ability to pay. It is but based on ability to spend, है ना? So even if you are rich or a poor, you are but paying same rate of tax. Clear, all of you? So check, including economically backward or economically challenged persons, they are paying बच्चों same rate of tax, है ना? Indirect taxes are levied on consumption, expenditure, privilege, or right, but not on income or property. Yes, you go to watch a movie, है ना? You watch movie. Is there tax collected? Yes. A right, na? But you are getting a right to enter the cinema hall. You go to a zoo or go to a cricket match, isn't it? Or you are having access. Access means what, bachcho? You are allowed, na? That is again your privilege. Okay. So earlier, a number of indirect taxes, bachcho, were levied in India. Excise on production, customs, sorry, bachcho, was on import, service tax on sale of on service, CST, Central Sales Tax. We'll discuss that also. Central Sales Tax. Again, I'm using the word bachcho, sales tax. Means what? Tax levied on sales. Okay. So pay attention. If at all bachcho, this is your Maharashtra government, you know, Maharashtra state. So there is a seller here in A and here B. So sale is bachcho happening within the state of Maharashtra. Seller, the supplier, and the recipient, buyer, both are bachcho in the same state. Are you getting my point? In that case, VAT was levied. Okay, tell all of you. Yes. But if A bachcho sells the material to Karnataka, okay, somebody let us say C in Karnataka, is it bachcho within the same state sale? Are the supplier and recipient bachcho in the same state? No. That time Maharashtra bachcho does not used to get any, you can say, income, or you can say share of the tax. In that case, because VAT was not levied for supply in another state or another location, we had to charge CST. Central, the word itself is not central. Sales tax. VAT is also a sales tax, value added tax, okay? But the sale within the state, and CST is also sales tax, but it will go to bachcho, the central government. Okay, clear all of you? So that also we had central sales tax, CST. Clear earlier? Now let me discuss one word. If I write down bachcho, intra state, you know, what do you think bachcho if I use the word intra state? Intra means what? Within. Okay, intra means what bachcho? Within. And we had done that in this also case. Which case? In setting off of losses, you can set off within the same head of income, or you can set off in the other head of income. That also bachcho we had discussed. Hai ki nahi bachcho? So tell me, if there is a within the state or intra-state, which example is correct? A to B or A to C, bachcho? Which one is intra-state supply? A to B, correct? This is intra-state. Okay, and this bachcho will be A to C will be what? Interstate. Clear till here? Arey haan na. So only on intra, only on bachcho intra, we used to levy VAT, and on inter bachcho we used to levy CST. Clear till here? Fine. Correct. VAT, entry tax. You might have heard bachcho of octroi. Have you heard of that, octroi? Heard of it? Octroi. It was also there. LBT. Okay. Local body taxes, bachcho. Even that was there. Material coming within the corporation limits. Okay. LBT was applicable. Okay, all of you? Purchase tax is also there, was there. Entertainment tax bachcho levied on movies, okay? Movies and some other, you can say, events and all. You have your music concerts, or you can see that those circuses which they have in cities, circus. Tax on lottery, betting, gambling, luxury tax on hotels above a certain amount. Luxury tax of 10% used to be there, bachcho. Okay, on hotels whose tariff was above a certain rate. Tariff, you understand, na? On hotels, hotel means stay. I'm talking about. When I talk about restaurant, I'm talking about eating. When I talk about hotel, I'm talking about staying. Clear? I hope this will be clear. And tax again on advertisements. Again, it on billboards or again in newspaper. So there was so many bachcho taxes, indirect taxes. Clear till here? Separate. So again, understand so much of compliance and headache and maintenance of documents. Okay. So we had to merge them all bachcho together. Yes, till here? Custom duty is still there even after GST. Okay. Give it a star mark here. Check here. Indirect tax which almost gives half or more than half of the total tax revenue collected by the governments. It is also called as community taxation. It is also levied on supply of, levy means charge, supply of goods as well as services. Shifting of burden means what? GST paid by supplier of the goods is recovered from buyer by including in the cost of the commodity. That means, is it actually going from the pocket of the seller? He is paying to the government, but is also recovering from the payer is not the one who's actually given to the government. It is not going from his own pocket. He's putting that burden on the customer. Yes or no? No perception of direct pinch. Any point is this. That means understand, when you buy petrol or restaurant, you don't think about taxes. How much tax is getting levied on this? You just look at the MRP or the selling price. So you don't even understand. Or when you're buying clothes also, what do you look at? MRP or the price after discount, etc. You don't even realize how much tax are you paying over there. Clearly here? So since value of indirect tax is already included in the price, most of the time they do not even understand that they are paying how much tax to the government. Thus, taxpayer does not understand a direct pinch while paying the taxes. Means what, bachcho? You right now in your student life, did you go to bank or online and pay taxes anywhere? No. Maybe your parents or senior relatives or friends, they might have paid direct taxes, maybe advance tax. Or from their salary, bachcho, income, TDS may have been done. Correct, or they may have paid advance tax or self-assessment tax. But you will never see regular persons paying bachcho indirect taxes. Even you are paying taxes, but you don't even understand. Are you getting my point? So every time you are filling petrol, you are paying taxes. Hai na? Clear? Inflationary. Why? Because it directly bachcho affects the price. Wider tax base, yes, important. Because bachcho, we have discussed this in income tax also. Hardly 10 crore people are paying, or not paying, forget paying, filing income tax returns. Most of them are nil returns, that also we discussed. So maybe those who are paying taxes are 6 or 7 crore people in India, maybe. But bachcho, everyone else is spending, na. Even if a person is below poverty line, they are spending somewhere. And if at all they buy something MRP, any product on that, bachcho, maybe tax is getting levied. So let's say, even if income tax is paid by 7-8 crore people in India, indirect tax bachcho is paid by 100 or 110 crore people in India, definitely. Yes or no? Wherever or whenever they are spending. Yes, all of you? Tell me a simple example, how many of them may be using petrol or diesel? Possible, isn't it, everybody? Somewhere or the other. Then, it promotes bachcho social welfare. How? Yes, that concept is there. Because by levying higher taxes on the harmful products, also called as sin goods, such as alcoholic products, tobacco products, etc., means one of the highest rates of taxes बच्चों, or multiple taxes are levied on these sin goods. Sin goods means which one? Tobacco or alcoholic products, alcohol, cigarettes, all of that. Okay, everybody? Finally, here. So this not only checks their consumption, but also enables the state to collect substantial revenue. Okay, you might have heard about, maybe I'm not sure, but after COVID, all the shops were closed, and one of the first requests by people or politicians was also what, to open alcoholic shops and alcohol shops, liquor shops. Okay, so that people will be busy at home. That is different, but the government was losing, or government gets a very high or good amount of बच्चों revenue from these two items. Okay, tobacco there, but alcohol and petrol diesel also, very very high amount of revenue. है कि नहीं बच्चों? Clear? Regressive बच्चों I have already covered, because it doesn't differentiate between rich and poor. Yes? The story, entire story is there, but we will discuss that. Okay, check. हेलो कुशल, क्या चल रहा है आजकल सब? तो द कॉन्स्टिट्यूशन 122nd अमेंडमेंट बिल 2014, in 2014 only ना गवर्नमेंट चेंज्ड 15 to 17, 17 to 22 ना, no not 17, sorry 19, that's not much of the government was there na. 24 again you'll have elections na, next year you are having elections hai na. So I think in the first or second year only of their of ruling, the government introduced this constitutional amendment bill. Constitution बच्चों we have to amend. Why you have to बच्चों amend constitution? I'll tell you simple reason. Pay attention. Understand now, please understand. Okay. Because, pay attention बच्चों, on any supply of goods or services, what was happening? The money बच्चों was going either to the state government, हाँ या ना, or either to the central government. Clear to all of you? Yes. Now here on a single transaction, the amount बच्चों will go to both of them. The amount बच्चों will go to what? Both of them. Clear to all of you? So here this is given compulsory in list 1 only, central government. But here बच्चों what will happen now? The money will also be shared. Now this was also list 2 na, who? State government. So it is giving power that on sale of service, the state government can earn some income. On sale of goods, central government will earn some income. Are you getting my point or no? What did I say? Sale of service, the state government will get the tax also, some sharing. And on sale of goods, the central government will also get some share in the tax. So here, the power of list 1 is getting shared with list 2, and vice versa. Are you getting my point or no? So central government is saying, I will share my taxes with you, and you also share my taxes. You also share your taxes with me. Why? Because the nature of transaction, on sale of goods, the exclusive power was of the state government. Exclusive power. The entire tax बच्चों used to go to state government. Now some share is बच्चों going to central also. And exclusive बच्चों sale of service used to go wholly and solely to the state government. But now even that will be shared with the service tax used to go completely with the central government. Now even बच्चों that will be shared with the state government. Clear till all of you? Yes? Clear? So they are saying that, okay, I have this exclusive power, you also have this exclusive power, let us share these powers. Now let us share these powers means what? On supply of service, CG and SG. Okay? And in list 2, sorry बच्चों, on supply, that means supply means sale of goods, SG and CG. अरे हाँ या ना? अरे 20 बच्चों, you are amending or altering list 1 and list 2 or no? Yes. And altering बच्चों list 1 and list 2 means what? You're altering the constitution. अरे हाँ या ना बच्चों? Clear बोलो. Right? So introducing these guys, introducing बच्चों these two guys. Okay? Obviously बच्चों involved or sharing that power बच्चों involved amendment of the constitution. Clear? That's why we are dealing with what? Obviously we are bringing the new act, no doubt about it. But constitutional amendment, why it is required? Because sharing of the lists. Okay? So, on GST in Parliament on 19 December 14, they introduced. The Lok Sabha passed the bill in 15. Okay, the Rajya Sabha. I hope you remember Lok Sabha, Rajya Sabha, and then government, president. Then Rajya Sabha approved on directly August 16. Okay. Subsequent, now pay attention. Subsequent to the ratification means approval by more than 50% of the states. Approval how much required? Of at least of half of the states. Okay. And that time it was more than obviously one half of the states in the entire India was ruled by one single party. That's why it was in a way easier to implement it. Okay. So the approval of this bill was received by the president on 8th September 16. Yes, Chelia? And became the Constitutional 101st Amendment Act 2016. The GST is not yet come, bacho. The first I'm talking about Constitutional Amendment Act. That Constitution, bacho, was amended and it gave the power now to make the GST rules. Okay? Ready? Then in the following year, pay attention. 27 March 17. Okay? The Central GST legislation, bacho, CGST 2017 was introduced. Okay? Again, bill. IGST 2017 and UTGST also introduced. UTGST here. Okay? And compensation to states bill 2017 was also introduced in the Lok Sabha. Compensation to states. We'll discuss all of this. Okay? Lok Sabha bacho passed these bills on 29th March. And approved bacho president's approval on 12th April 17. The bill was enacted. I mean, it got the final, you can say, approval of the President of India also. But we should obviously give time for its implementation. And we did not give it much time because the government was busy with demonetization, GST. So there are some rapid changes had to be done, J&K, all of that. So the enactment of central acts was followed by enactment of the state GST. Because even the state should come at par. Okay? Even the state budget should come at par means what? At the same level. Only then there is a changes happening. Okay? So enactment of state GST laws by various state legislatures were also required. Telangana, Rajasthan, Chhattisgarh, Punjab, Goa, Bihar were among the first ones to pass their respective state GST laws. By 30th June, all states and UT had passed except J&K by 30th June. At that moment, bacho, as on 30th June 2017, was J&K still special state? Yes, no? Correct, no? Everybody? It was still a special state. Later on, it was revoked from that stature. And basically, just simple example, those states which had Congress, obviously right now we don't have, obviously, but those states which had Congress rules, they were in a way implemented at the little bit at the end. But even they did not have any option because the entire country was making the changes. So obviously with effect from 1st July, we started with GST. Yes? Check. 1st July, everybody launched, and then J&K. They had no option only. Okay? GST is subsumed. Means, but you use the word over there, write down absorbed. Okay? absorbed multiple indirect tax like excise now gone means it is included, it is now part and parcel of it. Are you getting my point? Nothing separately will charge. Service tax, yes, still here. VAT, central sales tax, luxury, entertainment, entry tax also, after all of that. Okay, a question is asked. Okay, there's I think a table over there. Okay, I think it is there later on maybe. Features of GST, na? Not there. Okay. हाँ, it is there. ठीक है, page 1.26. ठीक है. I'll come to this also later on, but yes, lots of taxes were absorbed under GST. Absorbed means what? They were replaced by GST. Clear till here? Replaced by GST. Clear? हाँ. Can I go ahead, बच्चों? Let's write down something then. Look at the features. What is GST and all of that? It is a value added tax that is manufacture or sale of goods and or provisions of services. Value addition means you are creating some value out of raw materials or out of nature or out of any kind of base products which you are using. Means what let us say but if you are sitting on a chair, है ना? That chair is manufactured, है ना? Was it ready-made available in nature? No. So what did you use? Let us say but you use steel material maybe for the base, then some plastic for the again caps or whatever wheels based on that, nuts and screws, correct? Then bacho some leather or you can say foam, yes or no? Then the material on the cover, yes? So these things were not available directly in nature. Na? So somebody bacho sold the plastic or he created the plastic, that mold, etc. Then he sold it, है ना? Then the steel was sold. I mean, he purchased the basic. Then he put in his proper die and that mold, and then he has prepared that you can say frame of the chair. Somebody was just sold cotton or some other materials, resin, etc., which is used in again manufacture of chair. And somebody purchased all of that and he created the chair. Yes or no? So obviously there is a difference between the raw material and the finished goods. The journey, bachcho, from all these materials to the finished goods. Over there, what is happening? The value is getting added. है ना बच्चों? The value is getting what? Value of the product is getting added. Yes. Then GST offers comprehensive and continuous chain of tax credits. At least tax credit you understand, na? Tax credit to at least basic बच्चों we understand, है ना? We have not gone into this right now GST tax credit, but we can still finish it or you can understand basic. So continuous chain of tax credits from the producer's point, producer or service provider's point up to the retail levels, consumers levels, thereby taxing only the value addition at each stage. We will understand with example. Okay. The supplier at each stage is allowed to take benefit of taxes already paid, just like an income tax. Whenever tax is payable, but we take credit of the TDS, TCS or advance tax paid, na? So similarly, whenever the supplier is charging tax, okay, he can take credit of the tax already paid. Are you getting my point? So when he pays to the government, the supplier, he says, okay, but I have already paid some tax to you in advance or in before only. In that case, bacho, you can take credit of the taxes already paid. Okay. So supplier at each stage is permitted to avail credit of GST paid on the purchase of goods and on services. Check. Take credit of the GST paid on purchase of goods and or services and can set off the credit against GST payable on the supply. Okay. Thus, only the final consumer bears the GST charged by the last supplier in the supply chain with the set of benefits at all previous stages. Means what? Pay attention. Okay, we'll just give a small example. I'll not write down this in notebook also right now, but let us say bachcho, I'm just going to give you a simple example. A charges after his profit margin before taxes. A charges after his profit margin but before taxes 100 rupees. And bachcho takes, let us say, tax of 20 rupees, let us say. Hi Anna. So A paid to the government 20 rupees or no? Hi Anna bachcho. But this 20 rupees, is it from the pocket of A? Tell me this. No. Isn't it bachcho? A is the first person in the chain. Okay. B bachcho, for him the input price is how much? 120. Clear dealer all of you? Are ha. Then let us say he charges again his own valuation etc. Whatever it is. It is 150 rupees bachcho. It is 150 rupees before taxes, and he charges again, let us say, plus 20 rupees on his output price. Chalega? So how much is my final selling price? 170. Clear everybody? How much is C paying right now? 170. Okay, all of you? From B's point of view, bachcho, how much will he pay to the government? He will not pay bachcho this 20 rupees. Okay? Because it was payable was 20. But B from his own pocket, how much has he already paid? The tax bachcho which he has already paid was 20. Are you getting my point or no, all of you? हाँ बोलो. समझा या बाउंसर? नितिन. खुशबू. Okay. Till here you are okay? A sold to B 120. So the buying price of B is bachcho how much? 120. This much to you agree, na? Selling price of 1 is buying price of B. And he did some work on it. Okay, like I said, he bought some steel and he put some, let us say, foam on that steel to make the chair. Okay, I'm just giving you a simple example. Okay. So his price before, you can say, taxes, so that addition is bachcho 30 rupees is profit margin, let us say, okay, is 150 rupees. Chalega? All of you okay till here? And plus bachcho he charges tax. Chalega bachcho? All of you? Of how much? Let us say, I'll just keep the same example, 20 rupees. His final selling price after tax is what? 170. Fine. How much tax has B collected? 20. So he should pay to the government bachcho how much? 20. Correct till here? Agreed that B is bachcho not paying this 20 from his own pocket. But when he pays to the government, he is entitled to take the credit of the tax which B had paid out of his own pocket. Bachcho, when and how much B had paid out of his own pocket? This 20. The 20 bachcho which he paid to A. Hi Anna, all of you okay till here? Nitin, Akshay, बोलो. अरे हाँ या ना? Why to again add a tax on 150? Because the tax, so pay attention, I'll tell you that only. There is no tax on tax. Okay, there is no tax on tax. Okay, because B is here, pay attention, because B is here getting the credit of the taxes already paid. Okay, yes, it will increase, obviously it will increase on the final price, no doubt about it. You know? Pay attention. So here the tax which B has already paid, of that bachcho B can get the credit. Okay. So is B as such paying any taxes? No. Clear to all of you? The bachcho material goes to now C at 170 for example. हाँ है ना? Again he does some you can say increment on his you can say items है कि नहीं? Of 30 rupees. Again bachcho he makes it before taxes 200 and after taxes let me just change the figure now 50 and final selling price bachcho is what 250. Correct Ilya? How much bachcho C will pay to the government? Payable was 50 but has C paid some taxes or no already? How much bachcho has C paid already? What, tell me? How much C has paid already? All of you? 20. This figure है ना? तो how much बच्चों C is paying now? Only 30. Clear to all of you? Let us say बच्चों D is the final consumer. Okay, how much बच्चों D got it for? 250. Yes or no? Everybody? So on the journey, pay attention now. On the journey from 100 to 250, हाँ या ना बच्चों? Yes or no? Everybody, how much tax has been paid to the government? Total check here, 30 rupees. Yes or no, everybody? Are हाँ या ना? And this original 20 rupees. Yes, all of you. Total what? 150. Total what? 50 rupees only. Understood? Why? Because your B is not paying any taxes. है ना? Is A also बच्चों paying any taxes out of his own pocket? Out of his own pocket? No. Clear? B has paid but also recovered. So B gets the benefit of setting off the tax payable and the tax paid. C also gets the benefit, but he has increased the benefit a lot. His value addition was more. Clear? So whatever tax is applicable on this value addition, that minus whatever taxes he had paid. Yes? Next lecture, I'll take you this. We'll deal with this example. Chalega? Because that time here, the profit margin or rate of GST, everything I will be discussing. Okay, everybody? Next lecture I will take, in that I will cover this. Okay, all of you? Yes? Okay.
Recording stopped.
अगला lecture मुझको 2:15 बजे यार. I have to run. That's why. है ना? I will see you at 4:30 then today. 4:30 to 5:30 at least. आज ही GST करेंगे अपन. चलेगा? All of you? 4:30 PM. I'll see you for GST. Okay, all of you? 4:30 PM. चलो, bye bye. YouTube वालों bye bye.